Well, good morning. It's the week after Thanksgiving, and hope everybody is like me, dumb, fat, and happy. But as always, I am joined by the glowing personality and the slimmed down version of Beef Stew.
Hey, how are we doing?
All right.
We had it's Tournament Tuesday again. We're back. So lots of bowling going on. Some actually went on right now, or so to speak, and some went on quite a while ago. We had Dirty River Singles, won by Shawn Maldonado. He led qualifying, then won all of his matches, beating Anthony Simonson and in the final. And then we had Wes winning the Allstar Clash about 2 months ago.
It was a minute ago.
And then we had one of the bigger junior tournaments in Texas, maybe the biggest.
It was a minute ago. Yeah, it's well, I think it's the biggest one in Texas for sure. It's probably, I think we pay out probably as much or more than everything that's not junior gold or team masters. So yeah, it's something pretty proud of. So the 16th Barnes Thanksgiving Classic, and in these COVID times, we did about 270 entries total and paid out a little over $22,000. So,
and just to prove that you're not Scrooge at Christmas, you let the lefties have a chance.
Yeah. Yeah, Spencer Robarch was second. He was actually a hit away from winning. He couldn't have shut out our back-to-back-to-back champion, Julian Salinas, but he did strike in 8th, 9th, and 10th and forced Julian to throw the first strike in the 10th to win. And Julian threw it as pure and as good as you can throw it in that spot. Off his hand, there was never any doubt that it was anything but hitting the pocket. It was going to be that or a raining 10. That's about all he could have left. So it was pretty cool. We had a lot of sponsors that step up as usual, and so 900 Global as usual. Vice Coolwick was a huge sponsor for the event this year, and then Thunderbird Lanes and Sean Rash actually they combined for another $3,000 in scholarship monies that and obviously put a big bump into things. So Jamie Brooks, who's a proprietor at Plano and has a ton of tournaments and really the main tournament center here in Dallas, he had a lot to do with that as well. So it was a good event, and it takes a village, and really I'm just the idiot. So
oh dear. Well, we had the first the inaugural, you can't say first annual, someone's going to scream at me. The inaugural Dirty River Singles. 88 first entries, 350 a pop, so that was a pretty good turnout. The thing that was most disappointing was a few of the people who actually pulled out were the people who were most likely to benefit from it. Jeff's problem wasn't really the local players deciding to get shy at the end. It was some of the guys from around the country who, put their name forward to be in and then decided not to make the trip. Prize fund was excellent. He was a little short of his total first entries, so he didn't make note, tournament directors out there. It's not a good idea to pay the $10,000 if you don't get enough money.
Yeah.
Pay a little less on top, and then everybody else has a chance, and everybody's happy to come back. So that was pretty cool. Maldonado, we'll talk with him a little later, but he was the class of the field this weekend. Got off to a great start, the first squad. Simo was Simo. He bowled great. Highlight maybe of the matches was a 300-300 tie between him and Diana in the first game.
A Diana sighting. We haven't seen her. Has been pretty quiet this summer. So,
but she bowled 300, and then Simonson played dirty pool using his urethane, so she bowled 140 the second game. the transition was real.
Whoa.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, the first time I bowled 210, I think it was the second frame of the next game. Yeah, she couldn't get it to. It was gone. The magic was over after that point. Unfortunately,
and beef stew sighting.
We did. Yeah, I actually bowled. I bowled pretty good. I got a little screwed by the format. I bowled 480 in my match, and unfortunately, the other guy bowled 480 more than me. But he bowled a great match. I had a chance in the 10th frame. I did what I wanted to do. I just didn't know that what I wanted to do was the wrong thing. So yeah, it was a cool tournament. Finished 5th to 8th. Felt like I made some more progress, so that was good. Looking forward to going to Shawnee next weekend at the weekend. That's another event that we're both going to be at. So yeah, should we invite in our PBA Allstar Clash?
We should. This guy, he's okay. I mean, he has 41 300s in the PBA. He was a high average on tour in both 07 and 09, which I'm not sure that many people know. Obviously, he was Player of the Year in 09 as well. He has 10 titles and 18 regional titles. But more importantly, he is now the only guy who wins, as many gimmick events as Bill O'Neill. And with that, this bring in I strike a Malott, Wes Malott.
Well, first of all,
I'm sorry, I left that big nasty.
Yeah, first of all, can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. So first of all, there's none of us that are ever going to be able to catch you in the gimmick events. Never.
Long time ago.
25,000, 200,000, small difference. We got about 10 of those to go to catch up to you. So, and you got multiples of those.
Bill's doing pretty good with the PBA playoffs. He's up to 140 grand just out the PBA playoffs.
Well, yeah, Bill's doing okay with that. You're absolutely correct. Maybe he's taking over Barnes' role.
Yeah. I mean, we used to call that roll of riches. Now they're trying to make it a major. So it's
well, yeah. Yeah, well, I'm the king of not getting credit for any of the gimmick events, that's for sure, when it comes to titles or anything like that. And that's okay. That's okay.
I bowled league last night at Highland.
Yeah, how is Highland?
It was a little depressing. We don't have that many people bowling because we're doing the every other lane, and we need to figure out a different solution after Christmas. It's kind of shit having to bowl every other week. But your teammates say hi. Justin said, Justin had a couple of questions, not really ideal for the show. So we'll leave those out.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Great.
Unfortunately, Gary wasn't in. It was like the first time I've been in the shop that he wasn't there. So I'm sure he'd have had a couple of questions for you. But, yeah, they're all like, oh, yeah, we'll tune in. So if you start to see some questions from Austin, you'll know why. My mother-in-law, your number one fan, she just actually popped out to the gym. She was quite upset. She said, will it be on my Facebook when I get home? And I was like, I would imagine it will be. Good.
I swear I saw her when I was down there in October to see the kiddos.
Oh, yeah.
I swear I saw her at Target, and she had no clue where she parked. But I didn't have time because I had to run to go get the kids. So I didn't have time to stop and chat because I know it would have been a 30-minute to an hour conversation.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
But I swear I saw her at Target, and clueless as always. But love your mother-in-law, and she's obviously a huge supporter. I know she loves me more than you, and we all have to just be okay with that. I know it's just the way it is, right?
The way it is. Yeah.
But yeah, I saw you pop up on the bottom of the screen there. Dalton says hi, but no, actually, it didn't. I mean, Dalton. I don't know what this is about. I mean, I saw you guys made a video for his birthday, and I wasn't invited on that deal. And
you no-showed. It was people who were there in person that cared about Dalton.
Apparently, I'm his guy now. I don't know why, but I'm his guy.
I mean, 18 hours away is not the easiest to get there. So,
dude, I think I've moved ahead of you now. That's how far your star has fallen there.
Well, hey.
Oh dear. So, you're going to have to tell us, are you going to like redesign all of your PBA jerseys to look like that jersey? Because it appears
You know what?
you're invincible in that jersey.
It did kind of cross my mind the other day, actually. Believe it or not, and that is a true statement.
If the Argyle assassin, you could be the purveyor of plaid. How's that?
You could just switch the logos. You could put the Rotogrip logo down to the middle, and you could put the Lumberjacks logo just up here. Then you'd be good to go.
No, again, I thought of that. That might have been yesterday. I thought of that.
Yeah,
good. And it's come up before how sometimes you look good in green. So,
oh, has it?
I thought you looked better.
Not as good as you look good in purple, huh?
Well,
you had that role way before me.
You were on that same team.
Yeah, purple and green. We had it going, didn't we?
Yeah, we had the bases covered. We had Barney and Shrek all at the same time.
I think I'd rather be Shrek than Barney, though. I love you.
So yeah, tell us if you can remember, because it was a minute ago. Let's go through the boring stuff. What ball did you use? Did you need to change, etc.?
I don't know. You tell me. Did I need to change? You guys saw it.
I don't know. I left long before you needed to change. I had Belmo representing me.
No, it was a Rubicon. Actually, I showed up with one, and we ended up drawing a couple more while we were there, just to try and create a little different reaction, because I had a good reaction with the one I had, but just wanted to have a couple of options off of that in case. And sure enough, it was needed. But and it's basically the same ball that I threw in the entire league shows and whatnot, and then used it for the Clash as well. And obviously that ball matched up really, really well with me and the lanes and whatnot. Especially, I watched the show myself on Sunday, and I forgot about that very first shot that I threw. That and you look on the Specto stats, it says it got out to 1. I don't think it quite got to 1, but it was out to 2 or 3 for sure when we were trying to hit about 7, 8. But so yeah, it might have got a little right, and just checked up the right way. And if I would have done that later, kind of like Norm did, unfortunately, the last round there, it probably would have bounced a little bit more. But with formats like that, I mean, you got to get the breaks, and you got to come away with some of those things. So it's just the way our sport is.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. It's in some of those rounds, I was watching some of the guys, and it got to the situation where it was pitch and pray. Like, please be nice to me. Yeah. I mean, that's the nature of those one ball things. I mean, it was funny watching from the back, because you were just like, nobody knew, like, they put in the guy who'd won the most titles from each team, but you could have put in anybody from each team. It was like, with that kind of format, it's very, I don't know. It's very strange, to say the least. That would be difficult.
I'll be honest. I'm surprised they kind of didn't just leave it up to the teams to select a player for that. But
yeah,
I guess they had to have some type of criteria to come away with it, and with the extra money being on, being in there, I guess they had to do something. But still, I was actually a little surprised by that.
Yeah, I just think that there's more arguments than are worthwhile. At least they had
absolutely.
I think Tim Mack was a little excited. Of course he was.
No.
There was money involved.
There's and TV time.
Yeah. Literally,
TV time.
Timmy's daughter is the only thing Timmy loves on this earth more than money. So yeah, that was I mean, talk about you and Timmy seem to have a pretty good mesh, but you like come from almost 2 different planets. Like, your attitudes are like, you're like fairly docile, and Timmy's just like pumped by anything, especially anything that you do.
Oh yeah, we're watching the show, and even just during the interviews and whatnot. And Sarah's like, man, you just see Timmy. He wants to get in front of you. He wants to get up there. He wants to go. And, it's one of the things that I love about Timmy. He brings a ton of energy to the table. And, as we all know, I'm pretty laid back and probably don't bring a ton of energy to the table, especially the way Timmy does. But, I think with that, we team up real well. And, he can dig deep or make me dig deep and bring out a little bit more in me and bring out some fire. And he pulls the best out of me a lot of times. So that's one thing Timmy and I definitely mesh well with. And I'll be honest with you, you look at the MVP. I know I got the trophy or I won the MVP this year, and I don't know that any particular one of us outperformed the other than really Martin in the title match. I don't know. He might have missed once or twice at best in a 5-game match. So he outperformed all of us, but as a whole in the entire event, I don't know if anybody really outperformed anybody. So, that's why I gave it to Timmy, is because he brings that energy out in all of us and keeps us gelled and keeps us pumped and keeps us going. And in an environment like that with no fans or anything like that, I think that was a huge part of us coming away with a victory. And that's why, I felt he deserved that.
Yeah, definitely. Andy Patterson says, we miss you down here in the Southwest. Hope things are going well for you up north.
Good to hear from you, Andy. It's been a while, definitely. I see he's starting a family, so congrats to you as well. And I definitely miss you guys down south. I mean, you mentioned Highland a while ago. I mean, I still keep in touch with some of the people down there. On a week to week basis sometimes, and definitely miss all you guys. Miss the regionals, miss all of it. I mean, I know you guys were talking a little bit about the Dirty River, and I wish I could have been there. I mean, Jeff being a good friend and hosting that event, and obviously being at Astro Bowl, which is where a lot of the big tournaments used to be, when I was growing up, the amateur tournaments. So, I miss some of that stuff and being a part of it. So, when things kind of get opened back up here a little bit, maybe I can find some stuff going on down here or up here.
Oh, definitely. Be on our best behavior.
We are a fan of having the great and the good, and this time the great is bringing the good. So, I was going to give you an invite. I believe that my coronation as the new king of Pflugerville will be January the 3rd. That's when I'm getting measured for the crown. So just giving you a heads up if you want to come down. The good news is they don't have to resize it. So,
yeah.
Oh goodness.
But yeah,
I do have a little thing I wanted to read off here. It was from the participants over the weekend, the junior bowlers. They said, "Thank you for your contribution of $1,500 back into the scholarship fund because your 3 kids didn't come this year. Sincerely, the rest of the field."
Yeah, they were up here with us this holiday. It was the first time up here for Thanksgiving. So
I feel like anybody who's been following on Facebook, Dick Allen and Z8 have been going back and forth. I feel like there's going to be another controversy right here. David Smith, according to Specto, Chris has a higher rev rate than Wes.
Obviously.
Look at those.
Yep. Haven't you seen his ball hit lately?
No one has.
So this is quite an interesting format, but he says, Marco Antonio says, I think it would be better all 5 players through one shot, each round a different bowler with the coach choosing the order. That would be a challenge. Half the reason why we had a couple of these formats was because of social distancing. So it was a challenge with there just being 12 people or 10 people. 10 people? No, 12 people.
12.
So if you now had 60 down there, where would they go? Not to mention
line up behind the wall.
So,
Oof.
yeah. I mean, at one point, I'm pretty sure that if that was the case, Oscar would just throw the heater down the middle when it came to his shot.
I'd probably go up there and granny roll it. So it's probably about how well the body would move after waiting on 60 guys to throw a shot.
Oh, we found Sarah's burner account. Specto does an estimated rev rate. It's not 100% accurate.
Well, I was watching the show and it had me over 400, so I would have to agree with that.
Your ball's a lot at the right point. It's about 580 at the head pin, which is right where it needs to be. So,
but he did say, Torbjorn did say, congrats on the win. He had to avoid Facebook because he didn't want to spoil it before going to watch it. So that was good. I feel like a lot of people enjoyed the format who were watching at home. As bowlers, we'd like it if you didn't, but we appreciate you for watching. It's certainly not one of the players' favorites, but I do like the one thing I do like about it is there's a yes or no every frame. Like there's no right. Oh well, maybe. It's like there's a result every time. So I do like that because I like watching it come down to that one shot. Coley Edison.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about the bowling coverage on Barstool? I'm all for it.
I saw a little bit that there was a one of the companies within the industry teamed up with them and whatnot so I saw a little clip on them. Didn't get to watch all of it. I got about halfway through and I got distracted with something and haven't watched it. So I really can't give you an honest opinion on that yet.
I do think his takes on bowling are less delusional than his takes on Mitch Trubisky, though. Like he's talking about being how he could convert into being a pro bowler. I think he's got more chance than Mitch Trubisky of leading the Bears to the playoffs. So,
well, I don't know. Yeah, no, I think it's good. I always think an outside viewpoint's refreshing. And you don't have to agree with it, but it's he hits a different audience than some of us do. So, I think in general it's been pretty positive.
Yeah, I think pretty much anything the Barstool touches pretty much turns to gold. So, fingers crossed, turn bowling gold. It's like Matchroom Sport. They once they start getting involved in that stuff, that goes good as well. This is the most backhanded question possible, Kristen. Hey Stu, what was it like being a spectator while Kristen wears bowled? Oh, Kristen, that's sweet. It was interesting. I think it was one of the times that I wish I still drank. I think that I could have had more fun if I'd have got a little bit liquored up. Because I could have had more excuses for going, please miss this time, just as the guy was about to go.
Right. Yeah, right in the middle of it. How crazy do you think that format would be in Portland, though?
Oh,
I mean, you're sitting and waiting on 12 guys to throw a shot, and then you got the crowd ranting at you, and then some of the guys have probably got them, chanting against them, or who knows. Most of those guys in Portland don't chant against anybody, really, but it just adds a whole other level of pressure.
I just envision it being something that goes along the lines like this. It's super loud when everybody bowls, and then the whole crowd goes, shh, Wes is up.
Yeah. And then Duke's up at the end, and they're going, get six. Get six.
So, yeah.
Oh, goodness.
So, O'Grady had a really long question. He said, having studied your game recently, I have noticed how much more hinge in the elbow during the upswing. and orientating the fingers a bit more to the outside. Is this a tactical move you've been focused on to increase rotation and lower tilt? You were getting that ball to peel down lane. Wow.
The answer is no. The answer is, I mean, you kind of got the screen. That's as much as the elbow bends now. That is as straight as I can get. So yes, I watch it too. It's something I've been to the chiropractor. He scraped on it. He's done a bunch of different stuff. As you guys might know, at the U.S. Open this past year, I thought I was going to have to withdraw just because there was so much pain in the elbow. And but I managed to fight through it, and luckily my girlfriend Sarah came in and she worked on it quite a bit, and we were able to kind of get through it and fight through it the best I can, and almost actually even made the show. So kind of crazy how that works, but no, that is definitely not a move that I want to have, or I'm trying to have to generate more side roll, whatever you want to call it. I think that's just part of age. Is that so?
I can confirm that.
I still love you. I still love you, Matt. I can relate with you a little bit, but
No, it sucks. No, what sucks is not getting old.
But so it's just part of all of it. I mean, we all go through changes throughout our career, and we all adapt the best we can, and that's one of the things I think that makes a lot of us great bowlers, is because our body does change. We can continue to adapt to it and make the changes that we need to be able to compete out there at the highest level.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I had a fun thing come up on my Facebook feed. I wonder if it's still here. Oh, damn it! It was the Facebook memories, right? And I was saying to Barney that it was the perfect one for me and you. It was the flyer for the World Championships when we had to wait like 2 months to bowl.
Oh.
And I was saying to him, I go, man, Wes didn't realize it at the time, but he should have been just as pissed as I was that Fagan rolled all those 2-pins against me. Because I said I wasn't shooting 250 against Wes in the final.
Yeah, that was a rough one, and I got a little heap on that for something I said, and definitely deserved it. But
people.
I know it was I'll never forget it. I mean, stuff like that sticks with me for a long time. I mean,
yeah, people don't really understand when you have to bowl, when you bowl and you lead by so many, and then it goes on, and then you come back months later in a different bowling center, and then you leave a 9-pin and you're supposed to be happy about the fact that you just lost. Cool.
Yep. So you obviously remember it as well.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I remember. I've watched that show a couple of times.
Here's your old buddy David Combs. He says, "How many hours a day do you practice?"
Probably more now than I did when I was down in Austin. Well, plus COVID and everything else going on.
We're going to set the bar that high, huh?
But let me answer this. Not as much as Chris does. That I can tell. Or Stu.
Yeah, I'm a practice machine.
Not as much as either one of you guys. That's for sure.
Wes.
Do what?
When you've got as much more natural talent than we have, you don't need to practice as much.
That's how it goes. If you're naturally talented, you don't have to, you just have to maintain a little bit.
It's like I say to Chris Vi all the time, I'm a more natural athlete. I don't need to waste my time at the gym.
Oh, jeez.
Say to him all the time, just
I missed you guys
all that
time. What's up next for you?
Really not a whole lot. Just trying to kind of figure out what a little bit of what my career, or not really my career, but my future kind of looks like. Whether it be career wise, whether it be whatnot, just trying to kind of figure that out a little bit. And as far as physically what's going on, I mean, really Christmas is next, so we'll get the kids up here again for New Year's and whatnot, and then hopefully we can get started in January bowling on tour again. We'll see what happens. I don't, to my knowledge, nothing has been announced, but hopefully things work out and the guys at the PBA can get everything lined up and set up for us, and we can actually get back out on the lanes and compete because, definitely missed that a little bit. I mean, hanging out with the guys and doing whatnot is a big part of what we all, I think, all kind of enjoy and love about the tour and being out there. And I'm sure I can speak for you guys as well that, I miss a bunch of the guys out there. So hopefully we can get started in January.
Yeah, definitely. David also has another comment. He said, Stu, you can share the laundry list of questions we came up with last night.
I'm sure. I'm sure there's plenty.
Quickly, thanks for watching, Kristen. Hopefully we can find a way that we can have pro-ams in the future.
We went out to bowl all the stops in Florida and Texas.
Yeah. Well, we also might have to convince some of your guys' buddies that we need to take some injections. The American people, I don't think, are too much in for the.
I wouldn't let CNN convince you that that's the American average opinion of things.
Well, no, I watch Fox. That was their.
It doesn't matter. Anything on TV is the 10% on one side or the other. It's all nonsense. The middle is very reasonable.
I would definitely have to agree with that. I try not to watch any of it.
All right, so we're going to bring Maldy in, and I want you to stay around because I don't know that you know his big news.
His big news.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. If you look at my board behind me, it's a bit of a hint. He had another grip change.
Oh. So okay. Well, now and it worked.
The Dirty River Singles Champion, qualification leader, Simonson Slayer. Here he is.
Yo,
what's up, Maldy?
What's up? How's it going? It looks like my line is kind of bad. Sorry about that.
Oh, no worries. There we go. That's better.
All right.
So
when you log on, it tells you to have good lighting so that you look great.
I didn't see that.
So what's your latest grip change? Because you've had some doozies over the past, haven't you? You had the Maldy grip, the reverse Sarge.
I've probably gone through about 8 different grip changes while I've been on tour. I've actually not a lot of people know this, but I've probably made about 5 different shows with 5 different grips. I think this grip, my new grip is here to stay. It makes more sense, obviously. I did take my thumb out for my new grip, and I do want to share the story how it came about.
Okay.
I practice a lot, so I go practice, and I wanted the hardest shot that Copperfield Bowl had, and they had some 1-to-1 ratio. It was called the red square or something like that. It's a Kegel pattern. And I was like, yeah, I want that one. So I went to go bowl that one, and I'm throwing it really, really good. I go 190, 2-0, 190. And I'm throwing it solid, right? So I sit down, I'm drinking a sparkling water, and I'm like, man, I'm throwing it good. This is all I got. This is all I got to offer. So I was like, let me try without my thumb. So I grabbed the WebMB, and I had a thumb hole in it, but I took my thumb out. And just on one lane by itself, I was on 2, but I just decided to try it on one lane because I didn't want to jack it up. I go 18 strikes in a row. So I'm like, wait. Maybe because it has a thumb hole.
Oh, yeah.
So let me go to the car. Went to the car, grabbed a blank ball, went to the pro shop, put 2 holes in it, no thumb, came back out, no practice. And I have a witness, no practice. I came back, same lane. I threw another 18 in a row. So I'm like, in my head, I'm like, okay, I just got to figure this out because I went from throwing it good, shooting 192 or 190 to throwing it. I mean, I really wasn't comfortable with the grip because it's new, but I was like, I have to figure this out. So like the next 2 weeks or so, next 2-3 weeks, I'm like every day throwing 15 games. My body's sore the next day. I'm trying to figure this out. I'm ripping my fingers open because I'm trying to like grip up on it and everything. And but kind of figured it out a little bit. Going into San Antonio, the singles tournament, the 10K tournament, I really wasn't even fully comfortable. I was like, well, this is probably just going to be a learning process. And then I ended up just like, I got there, I practiced for about 15 minutes before the sweeper thing on Friday. And I was like, man, this actually feels kind of good. I hope I can do this tomorrow. And sure enough, it felt just as good. It felt just as good Friday as it did Saturday. So it was good. It was good.
Yeah. I mean, just so weird that grip change would work.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense, but
I mean, just such a weird concept, bowling with two hands and not using your thumb. Like,
Tommy Jones has mentioned it a little bit, but I just never go through. I've tried it for years now, but I just never commit to it. Doherty's always like, man, dude, just take that thing out. Take it out. Like, I read with him all the time, so we talk about it a lot. If we do,
are you 100% sure he was talking about your thumb?
Okay.
So I got a question.
Wow.
He might have been talking about those, but
And there it is.
But yeah, I was like, you know what? I told him about the incident, the 36 in a row, basically. He was like, dude, you need to just commit, take it out, thank me later, yada yada yada. So I've been working on it, and slowly but surely, it's getting more comfortable. It does feel weird.
You've tried it before.
I've tried it before, but and to be honest, I do a lot of coaching now. That like the last few or the beginning of the year when I came back from or before I went on tour last year, I was doing coaching October, November, December. Had a lot of two-hand kids. I had a lot of young kids. Obviously, a lot of two-handers with no thumb, and it gave me some insight on. Actually, me helping them helped me also because then I got to see some things that I was trying to help them with.
No, wait. You didn't pioneer taking your thumb out of the two-handed release?
Heck no. And you know what? They even asked me. They're like, hey, Shawn, they didn't put their thumb in, right? Shawn, should I just put my thumb in like you? I'm like, no, don't do it. Keep your thumb out. I promise you.
Look at the two-handed go, I just have too many reps. Mm-hmm. I don't want to hook it that much. How do I not hook it that much?
What is that again?
Sometimes they say, with their two-handed, man, I just don't like all this rev rate. How do I change that? Well, put your thumb in. I mean,
well, yeah, you can do that too because my rev rate did increase taking my thumb out. Not that that's what I was looking for, but it did increase.
But if it didn't hurt.
How can I make my hand hurt a lot more with this release? Okay, put your thumb in. No problem.
You know what's weird though? You talk to Simo and he says he took his thumb out because he couldn't throw it straight.
What?
So he took his thumb out so he could throw it straighter.
Yeah, but he's probably.
Yeah, I mean, it does make sense because you can with no thumb. You can. We were talking about it this past weekend. He was like, it's just so much easier to shove it or play a straighter line without your thumb because you're just basically just letting it come off. Anyhow, I did talk to Simonson about it. And got a few tips from him to see what the feel because I had a couple of questions about feel. So he gave me a little insight on it, but he just said it's going to take some time until it feels natural because like right now I feel like I'm going to lose it every time. Obviously for 32 years, been using my thumb. So it does feel like I'm going to lose it, but at the end of the release, it just kind of comes together. But
yeah, I mean, I do notice that your hop isn't quite as big.
Right. Yeah, a lot of people were telling me that as well. I don't know I don't know if that has any correlation as far as like me putting my thumb in made me hop more. I have no idea, but I did notice even when I had a couple buddies of mine come to the Copperfield to watch me throw it, just to see if they saw something that I didn't. And that's another thing that did brought up, that is my hop wasn't as significant.
Talking to someone who is desperately trying to make it hook as much as possible on 75% of the shots I throw, it probably has something to do with that. When your thumb's in it, you're hitting it for all you're worth. And I mean, you're not huge, are you? Let's be honest. Like
right.
So you're probably throwing yourself. Now you're just like, it's coming back. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, maybe it was making me do. Obviously, it was making me do more than I wanted. But again, going back to helping these young kids with the no thumb, then me trying to do it gave me some extra insight on actually how to let it go. And I do have this drill I've shared with Dimitri Cruz and all the two-handers that I bowl with no thumb. Try to throw it without any fingers. So what I tell them to do is put their fingers under the finger holes and try to get tilt and rotation with no fingers. And once you get that, then you can do the same thing with your fingers. Because most of the younger two-handers, they rotate it from the side of the bowl and not from left to right. So that helps them get an understanding of how to release the ball with no thumb. So once I taught that to them, and this was just like a drill that I just made up, I've never seen anybody do it. I did it with myself, and then also helped me. Basically, I get more axis tilt without my thumb than with my thumb, but it doesn't make sense because my thumb locks me up. It restricts me from giving me more axis tilt.
So what you're saying is you have even less respect for the other two-handers now. Now you realize how much harder it was for you to do what you were doing. You think that it's really no thumbers more than two-handers. So again, Doherty's out as well because really it was having your thumb in that was making it difficult, not throwing two-handed.
It was making it much harder with my thumb in for sure. Absolutely.
I'm just hearing that he basically just Tiger Woods the whole field down there. Yeah, I'm kind of making this adjustment. I'm not quite there yet, and I already watch it.
Oh, 100%. I know even better than that, Chris. He led, and then he turned up at 10 o'clock to bowl with the schmucks in the first round.
So listen, it was in the options. Listen. Hold on, I got a valid excuse for this. Listen, it was in the rules that
I was all with you.
It was in the rules that if I was top two, I still had an option to bowl the semis that my scores wouldn't count. Well, I haven't, like I said, I haven't been doing this for that much long. So, or I haven't been doing this very long. So I wanted to get more games and more reps on a tougher condition with transition, because at home I have no transition. With transition, in a tournament atmosphere, and get some reps in. And then some people didn't really like that. I'm not gonna say no names, but
his second name was Rash.
Yeah, he did it.
One quick thing.
Since you said his name, he comes up. He's on the end pair. He's about 5 pairs away from me, and he yells over, "Shawn, why are you bowling?" And I'm just like, I look at him. I'm like, dude, I just want to bowl. Like, I don't know if he knew I wasn't using my thumb or not, but I just wanted to bowl and get more reps in with the no thumb. And he made it. He just, he made it.
The only downside of it was, by Maldy bowling, we had 21.
Yeah.
20.
Right.
So we had one pair with 5.
Yeah. It was.
So that was slightly annoying.
Yeah. And I think he was following that pair, wasn't he? Yeah. So he had to wait every game. So he was mad. He still made the cut.
Yeah. And then he got schooled by Nathan on the fresh.
Right. Yeah.
That was the pair that they played on wasn't particularly friendly. And this is when I realized that no matter how confident I get, no matter how good I feel, I'm just never going to be in Simonson's world, because the pair wasn't very good. And Shawn was, "Oh, that pair's trash." And Simonson's like, "No, it'll be fine." And Rash is like, "Bet." And Simonson goes, "All right, I'll bet you 100 I shoot 520.
What?
520, not 480. Like, he could have said any number over like 470 and Rash would have taken the bet. Simonson goes straight to 520. I'm like,
I kind of think Simonson knew he was going to do fairly well in that pair, only for the fact that Nathan and Rash started right, with a bunch of reactive, and Simonson was throwing urethane. So I'm pretty sure he knew he was going to have, if he missed a little right early, it was just going to stop and hold.
I mean, he didn't shoot that high. He shot 240 the first game. It was just the fact that any man on earth can be that confident that they're like, "Oh yeah, I'll put 100 on shooting 520."
Yeah. I mean, Simonson.
Yeah, he's mad. He's probably crazy.
Yeah.
So what happened in the final? I was already on the way home. I saw that you won. I think Emily told me that Simonson didn't strike almost at all the first game.
Right. Well, the pair was a little tricky. And it's crazy because I bowled Nathan on that pair and I had a very good look.
Mm-hmm.
So I was actually happy that we were going to that pair, but it didn't play anything like I did with Nathan. I guess the extra 2 games did some damage to it. But so I tried to do urethane with him, but just a little further in, and then maybe give him some push to where he couldn't carry as much if I got inside of him with the urethane. And it got a little tricky, but I got out of it quick. I bailed quick. I mean, I struck, and then I 2-pin, and I 2-8, or I 2-8 and 2-pin, and then I 2-8-10, I think. And I was like, I got to get out of it. And then I switched to the reactive the Latitude Pearl that I was throwing all during qualifying the last four games or so. And ended up going really, really slow. Now, mind you, I was kind of hesitant to do it because without my thumb throwing it, I haven't been able to really do it because it just flies off my hand. But I ended up like moving as far as up on the approach as I could, like kind of like Germany. I don't know if you saw me in Germany, and it got to the speed that I wanted to. So I got comfortable again. So there's still some things that I got to learn though.
I'll never forget, like, talking of you bowling slow, the times that I remember you bowling slow is when you were using that red hot cell.
Yeah, I used it in Germany.
That one slow.
I threw that one in Germany and was slow rolling it, probably like 13 miles per hour or something. It was slow, and shot 300 that way. So it was just as close. I mean, probably not 13, but probably about 14.5 or something, 15. And with the Latitude Pro, and it looked good.
So, did you get to catch any of Wes's like bucket rolls and like bullshit, almost throw it in the gut to get a strike that got him to capture this All-Star trophy?
No, I might have got into late.
Yeah, and of course you didn't even get to stand around for very long because your boy Barrett was one and done.
Yeah, he was out quick. Unfortunately.
I'm not judging. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Oh man,
I did get about 8 shots in for only 3 rounds.
For how qualifying went, I thought it was going to be a pretty good week. But it ended up being a quick tournament for me.
Yeah. You guys didn't cover yourselves in glory in your match.
Maybe if I had my thumb out, that'd have been confident. We could have got there.
I was actually talking to Andrew about that. I'm like, what kind of bullshit's this? Dom's gone from having a 2-hander with his thumb. Now it's like he got an extra draft pick. Now he's got a real 2-hander. What's going on? How's this fair?
Yeah.
Are we still thumping over the holes on a spare ball? Or does that change your tilt enough to get off of it?
It changes my tilt enough. It was the thumb hole with the spare ball.
So
that's what I figured it was.
I don't have a thumb in now no more, so you don't hear anything.
So now you don't hear it.
You don't hear anything.
So do you find spares easier with it out, or
now that I have an actual release with no thumb? So when I actually tried to convert to no thumb just for spares only, but I really didn't have a release. I was kind of just dumping. I don't know if you remember that. I was doing that. I did it in Arkansas. We bowled in Jonesboro, and I did it a few stops before that too. But I didn't really have a release with no thumb, so I was kind of like trying to like dead over end of it real straight, and then I would lose it, then hang up on it. But now that I have an actual release with no thumb, like for a strike shot, I do the same thing with the spare ball, and it's feels okay.
You really amaze me, honestly. With every sentence you tell me, you amaze me. So when you would make it the changes, your first change was to take your thumb out to shoot spares.
Well, because I had to go straighter.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Every 2-hander can't make a spare because it hooks too much.
But they don't have the thumb in. I had my thumb in. So my spare ball was hooking so early, and then when I would try to.
This portion of the program brought to you by the Texas Public Education System.
Yeah, please, man. Anybody's gonna give me shit out of these 3, it's gonna be stupid all day long.
I just think that's amazing. Just
Well, I mean, I did do the reverse summer booster. I got some crazy thoughts in my head, so it shouldn't have surprised you. It should not have surprised you.
I admire you're willing to try anything.
Yeah, you and Dom is all in. He's a like. Did you hear about Dom changing weight at the World Series?
Dom thing?
Oh, Dom changes his grip every 2 minutes.
Really?
Oh yeah. Like so
I did not know that.
He liked, but now we've had all this time off for COVID. He'll have a different grip by the time he comes back.
I didn't know that at all. Yeah, that's
And
crazy.
World Series, he was bowling, and he was like, he were on the the fake practice day, whatever we want to call that, the pre-practice practice.
Yeah.
And he just goes, no, can't do it. He walked downstairs, went to the truck, drilled a 16-pound ball, came back up, threw it, and went, that's better. And Martin goes, what'd you do? And he goes, I just drilled a 16. I'm done with it. Done with 15s.
Oh, he tried the 15, so he's back on the 16s? He's
still Dom's back on 16 now.
Wow.
Matt, that's why he went one shot out of the Clash, bad grip.
Yeah. That was the grip he used before COVID.
Lawrence says, what would Stu look like with no thumb and no follow through? Well, the thing is, we actually discussed this at the Weber Cup.
You have a chance.
I'm working on it. No, I couldn't actually bowl two-handed because I couldn't swing past my stomach.
Right. Well, what if you did it like Doherty? You could do it because, I mean,
I'm not strong enough. Doherty's a beast.
Yeah,
to be able to do that, he's a beast.
Yeah. The only guy that threw it like that was Mike Miller, and he was no slouch either.
No.
That's a real strong dude.
I mean, when Doherty does that whole thing, he can't do it now because he doesn't have that thumb hole, does he? But when he used to do that thing and hold it like that.
Oh, yeah.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, man, I'm just happy to be able to get the ball down the lane with my thumb. Like, take your thumb out of it. I'm like, to be honest, every time I've ever tried to throw it without my thumb in it, I think my rev rate's way lower. So,
yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. So I don't know. I have enough problems without having to worry about doing that. I finally bowled well 2 weekends in a row. Leave me alone.
I guess we'll see you next weekend at the Southwest Invitational.
Yep. I will be there.
Yeah.
Yep, I will be there. And then Lubbock after that. And then
after that.
All the little tournaments after that, Dino Castillo's and Indios and stuff like that. Are you going to do any of those, Stu?
No, because we're going to Vegas for Christmas now. But I'm going to bowl the doubles in Copperfield. Is it a Copperfield or is it the other one, Emerald? The PBA, the
PBA, that's at Emerald. Yeah, that's Emerald. The 21st.
Man, I'm real good in that place.
Who you bowling with that? Who you bowling?
Pete Thomas.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So me and Pete are 2 for 2 so far in tournaments we bowl together. So I'm hoping that continues. I like bowling with Pete because Pete brings the things that I don't have. Pete's like fantastic at winning, and he has that never say die attitude. So I like it.
Yeah.
And the other thing about Pete is the most annoying thing about bowling with someone is that when they just like flag a spare. And at least I don't have to worry about that with Pete. Like, he doesn't do like dumb things. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I was told that his golf game's the same way. I don't know if you know him.
Yeah, I know he likes playing, but he's like.
Supposedly he's pretty good, but he's just a very he's a safe conservative player.
Doesn't surprise me. He was doing really good in that mag pin event as well the other day. I saw. I don't know if
I saw a video of that when Simonson threw. I think they had him throw a ball, and the pin sounded like. It sounded weird. I wouldn't mind bowling on mag pins. That was like fun.
Did you see the scores?
No. Nope.
AJ was like 23rd after 3 games. He had 526. 568 was leading.
What was leading?
No, AJ was not in 23rd with 520. 520 was still in the top.
Was he 480?
What was leading though? Do you know?
At the end, I think 40 under led.
Wow. That's awesome.
How many?
No, they bowled on a flat 42-foot pattern on top of it.
That's awesome.
It took 100 under to make the top 5.
Tony Franklin, after 3 games, had 430, and he won a big board.
Yeah, that sounds like fun. That sounds like fun.
I think that Chris made a poor financial judgment by letting Ryan bowl rather than bowling himself.
Why ain't bowl, Chris?
It was 8 on a pair. It started at 7 p.m. They rolled out of there at the last text, because Keith Lesko led. I sent him a text when I got back, and it was about 3:10 and said, "Did you win?" He goes, "Still bowling."
Oh,
Yeah, that sounds like there's a couple tournaments up here, and there's one center that's about 40 minutes away down in Decatur that, great host and whatnot. Nothing wrong with the center. It's a great center, but the problem is it's kind of small. So to get enough entries, I mean, the one tournament I did bowl, I think we had 8 or 9 on a pair, and just the pace is so brutal. And not only that, then you make them a little hard. I mean, it is brutal to sit there and try and go through that. I mean, eight on a pair is okay if the scores are, you're bowling league or something like that, but you make them hard, and then you put a tournament environment in it as well, and it just takes so long to bowl.
Yeah.
Well, and there's only 15
So I've opted out.
pins per lane on top of it. So if you strike it, you're not getting right soon anyway.
Oh, wow.
No.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just the pace is bad. So I've opted out of the last couple events down there, unfortunately, for that reason. As much as I do want to support the event up here, we'll wait till they get into the other centers where they can be bigger, or they can limit the fields to a reasonable amount on a pair. So
yeah, I mean, I mean, I love the theory of Longview, but it did. I thought it was kind of dumb when the second round was still bowling at like 2 a.m. or whatever, and if you lost that match, you had to bowl at 10:30 the next morning. And
yeah, that can be a brutal format.
I mean, the point is like, I don't mind that stuff.
It's bad
if people keep the schedule, but when you start the Calcutta an hour later than you advertised, when it's already going to be late, then it just gets a little silly to me.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, that was one of the nice things about when we bowled in San Antonio this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
They had the Calcutta on the Friday night, so when we got there, they only had a few excuses left to start a little late rather than starting an hour late.
Right. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I like the format was good in San Antonio.
Although it did sound like the percentage taken out of the butterfly meeting there was a little high. So note to all tournament organizers, no matter how good you run the tournament, start taking 10% or more out of that auction, there won't be one for very much longer. So
yeah, it's definitely it's an awkward situation, that's for sure, because it's not really like, who are you going to tell, your mommy?
Yeah, well, I like a lot of those guys, but eventually the big guys are they're not going to play if you're going to take an exorbitant amount out of it for just basically calling out names.
There was another interesting thing that I thought was kind of funny was you had to pay $10 for your practice session.
Oh, really?
I've never heard of that. So that, they put the shot out Friday at 7 o'clock or whatever. And we're bowling the sweeper, and then we were getting done, and they made an announcement. Hey, if whoever's sticking around for the practice session, it's $10 per person for the hour practice session. I was like, whoa, I've never heard of that.
Yeah, that's probably just didn't work something out with the bowling center to get that. They had to pay lineage on it because.
Well, I was thinking
I don't know what it is, but
the entry fee was $350. I thought it'd be taken out of that somehow, but apparently not.
It's, all I can say to that, I guess, is it was the first year of the event. I'm sure he probably took some notes on it, and hopefully he's watching right now and he's hearing some of your comments about it, or he can make some adjustments from it to continue the event and make it better. I mean, I speak from experience there with the youth tournament that I host. you got to live and you got to learn. So just hopefully you learn from it. That's the main thing.
Yeah.
And I think you'll see some changes made.
I mean, I
Yeah.
know that.
I mean, I was gonna do it regardless, but
Yeah.
I just thought it was interesting because I've never heard of that or experienced that in a tournament. But regardless, it was still a good tournament.
I mean, I know that it directly affected you, but I did think that he did an excellent job with how he did the prize fund after he didn't get the 10,000 for first. I think even though you ended up winning, I think in the long run, I think it's so much better for the tournament because nobody wants to bowl a tournament where it pays 10 and then it pays 3 and then it pays 1,000.
I agree. You know, he messaged me. He actually called me that night, and just to bring it to my attention that they didn't get the entries. They weren't going to pay 10,000. And I guess he was just like, just want to make sure you know that it's going to pay anywhere from 7,000 to 8,000. I'm like, yeah, that's what I figured. I figured that because it was based on 100 entries and they only had 85. So I was actually the number that I thought was going to be was around 7,500 or 8,000. So I told him, yeah, that's exactly what I expected to bowl for with the entries y'all had. So
yeah, it's very telling that he has my number, but he didn't text me, hey, first is going to pay this. He kind of knew you were going to win.
Oh, cool. He
didn't need to let me know what first was going to be. He was like,
yeah, it was good.
No, I just thought that it's very easy to fall into the trap of like trying to have the big splash, big check for first, but in the long run, that never really works out because I remember we played a tournament in Reno one year. It paid 15,000 for first and 3,000 for second.
Yeah, that's not.
It was stupid. It was beyond dumb. Like I think I came fifth and I got $700, and the guy who won got 15,000.
Yeah, I bought a couple of those like that.
Yeah, we bought one back in the day. There was a 30 grand guarantee, and then they paid 200 for second.
What?
Yeah, the guys they had to cut it up, but the guarantee was guaranteed, so they had to have a meeting to not go that way. That was obviously the last time that particular gentleman ran a tournament, but on Memorial Day kind of things, and people flew in and didn't get enough entries.
Was it based on entries?
No,
did they
guaranteed.
Have I guess what I'm asking is, did they have like a entry number that if we got here, there was going to be this huge payout? There was 30,000 on top, no matter what.
You just guaranteed the number, and then
what was the?
Going through a little bit what our regionals are going through right now is there's too many Portsiders winning, and guys just didn't show up to the center. It was actually in Garland back when it was Wood. Then in the 90s, but it just he took a big hickey actually, and then he didn't ever run any more tournaments again.
Right.
I think you gotta advertise a couple different prize funds. I think based on entries.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to guarantee them based off of entry numbers, but you can.
The other thing was at least Jeff picked what was a reasonable number to base it off. The worst thing is when those guys and I say this to some of the guys who run local tournaments here, they say based off 60 entries. I was like, dude, you've never had more than 35. Why are you basing it off 60? That's ridiculous. That's just going to piss people off because they think it's supposed to pay 700 for first.
Right.
But there's no chance of ever paying that because you never have 40 people. Base it off 35 entries, and then if it pays a little bit more, great.
Yeah, then people will be excited about it. Yep.
Yeah. So, Sibo's asking us, who cooks the best out of you guys?
I cook a lot. I cook at home all the time. So
Shawn's got the rice down. I know that.
I got the Spanish rice down.
I think I probably have the grill.
Yeah, you got the grill. I actually got a couple things. I got this Ninja Foodie thing that I've been playing with. I think it's pretty awesome. Then I got this other thing called a sous vide, a Nova sous vide.
Yeah, you cook it in the water.
Man, I had steaks in that thing, and I feel like I was high end style. I thought it was at Fleming's or something. It was so tender and it was good.
Yeah,
I would recommend it.
they say that's the easiest way to cook it, for it to be like you just literally cook it for the time, don't you?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
There's no looking at it.
Right. Yeah. You don't. There's no window to mess up. Like you don't have to be perfect because if you cook a steak, you have a small window to make it just right. With the sous vide, I mean, your window's an hour and a half or so. It's unbelievable. So.
Yeah, Pavlenko came down and he cooked steaks, and he cooked the one side in the pan and then he threw them in the oven. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, he's fat. He's probably knows what he's doing. Steak came out. That was playing for keeps.
Dang.
So I've done that with the Tina's a filet girl.
Okay.
No ribeye.
Mm.
So yeah, we've done that with ours a little bit. That's been the go-to. Put it in the cast iron.
Yeah, we've done that once.
It's a very multi-dimensional show.
Yeah, it's become Food Network.
Bowling formats, thumbs, no thumbs, moves.
I'll be honest with you, Maldy. I didn't give you enough depth. I never thought that if there was one person on earth, I probably you would have been one of the later people to talk to me about sous vide.
Oh, really? Yeah, I like to cook.
I don't think I give you enough credit.
I don't think sous vide is cooking because it's just more preparation than anything. But I do like.
Because he did it back.
I do like to make food. I like to make food.
He's right. You should reverse sear that, not do it in front. But
it depends which way you want to do it.
Yeah,
you can do it both ways.
Yeah.
Well, Shawn, you look a little thinner.
5 minutes here, and
yeah,
keep today. So
well, I think it's helped. I don't eat. I cook every day now instead of eating out every day. We used to eat out 2-3 times a day. I think that was a huge on all the weight that I was.
John Prince says you make really good meals, but to be fair, when you have 7 kids, you can't afford to eat out every day. So
That's true.
Amen.
Yeah,
I have 18 kids. Okay, 18. That's what I tell everybody. I have 18 kids.
Wes has 3 kids that are the size of 18 kids.
Yeah.
No, there's 5 now.
Oh, okay.
There's
you gained
5 in the bunch now.
There you go, the real Brady Bunch.
Yes, we do.
Any thoughts of rejoining us back down here in Texas?
Any thoughts? What?
Of rejoining us back down here in Texas?
What, like full time?
Yeah.
No, probably not going to happen.
Fair enough. I just thought I'd ask.
Asking for a friend.
I personally wouldn't mind, but I don't think that's not gonna happen anytime soon.
You've been told no.
Sorry?
You've been told no? Is that what you're saying?
I've been told I don't like Texas. Is what I've been told.
That sounds like somebody who's never been to Texas. So
That's probably being a little nice, but
Wow.
she likes
Oklahoma.
she likes the seasons, that's for sure. She loves the snow, and I'm trying to be open about it and find the good things out of snow, because what I know of snow, it's when we travel and it's always black on the side of the road, and there's nothing pretty about that.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's terrible.
We'll see what
happens.
We've got one question here. I think they know what I think of it. What do you think of the new X1, Wes?
Actually, kind of a very unique piece. It seems like it hooks quite a bit, as much as a super high end ball that would normally like kind of slow down and go forward and quit on the back, but it still goes on the back. Do you see that, Stu?
I see it as being like kind of maybe not exactly the same shape, but how I could use an alpha where I could use it on pretty much every pattern. That's how I see the X1. I can use it on everything.
Symmetrical or asymmetrical?
Trust me, I've heard you thrown it a lot. My kids have relayed the message.
Yeah, I mean, I used it on the league and got 820, and then I won on 45 feet with it, and then I used it last weekend on 40 feet. So I pretty much can use it on everything.
Yeah,
I haven't really got a
I
good
can see that.
grasp. I haven't really got a good grasp of what it's like off the Rubicon yet, because a lot of my Rubicons have a lot of surface on, so it's kind of figuring out where those two fit. But yeah, I mean, I really like it. I really like the proton physics as well, but that's a whole different animal. That bitch is strong. Whoa!
I haven't gotten one of those yet.
Like
Which
that,
one's that?
you need to widen the lane. Strong.
Which ball is that?
The proton physics.
The new proton.
Yeah, it's whoa. That one's strong. Yeah. So, somebody did ask. I hope they're still watching about the aspect, Chris, where you saw that one fitting. That was one.
Yeah,
of them.
I mean it's kind of a benchmark type shape. The same thing out of the box. It can be a benchmark for medium rev rates and a little slightly speed dominant players. You can put more surface on it, make it a slow ball that handle heavy oil with that same continuation kind of thing. But
It's in that kind of idle phase 2 type of.
right, it would be like that, more like the idle version of that. It's a little earlier. The Zen is the ball that is blowing up around here.
Mm-hmm.
It's everywhere right now.
Head over to the Beef and Barnzy channel. You can listen to Chris with fairly average audio talking about it and throwing strikes. So yeah, that's our current video on the Beef and Barnzy channel. It's doing pretty well, so check that out. Chris actually throwing strikes. It's good. We like it.
Ball's got to be good.
Yeah.
With
All
my
right, guys. It's been fun.
With them.
Yeah. Did you like the board for you, Shawn? This was Tina's board.
Oh man, when I saw that, I started laughing. I told Dolores, she was sitting there. I was like, "Man, you gotta look at this. Look, man, no dumb." I thought that was funny. I love it. I like it.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was that was a wrap. I think.
Yep.
Thanks for joining us, guys.
Yep, no problem. Enjoyed it as always.
All right, guys. Always good to see you guys.
Yeah.
Much appreciated, gentlemen.
Happy
Enjoy the
Christmas,
holidays.
guys. I said I was wishing Wes Merry Christmas because we'll probably see him in the new year.
Yeah.
Probably a good chance.
Hopefully we have a schedule out, although I'm not sure how they can really do it right now. But if so, great. Be nice to have some news on that end as well. So until next time, support our sponsors as usual: Storm, Roto Grip, 900 Global, Vice, Turbo, Coolway, 3G Shoes, Dexter, Master, Bowler Smart, and I'm sure Wes is getting ready to put his sponsor in his pro shop right on the end of that.
Oh, wrong jersey. It's on the back of this one.
Okay, yeah, there you go.
Like a lot pro shops.
There we go. And a good friend of the show, Mark Baker Bowling Video Lessons. Go there to sign up for one of those. Support small businesses, support those bowling centers, help them get through this tough time. And then until next time, stay safe, stay healthy. God bless.